今天是2月17日，这是 NY5， 我是新月
I am Alicia。
为了庆祝我校95周年，音乐剧的编剧组特地采访了刘慧霞博士，让我们看一看她在南中的时光。
Now we have Chong Junyu, Lo Shin Le, and Cheryl Yao for the special interview.
Have you ever wondered how the research for the Nanyang 95th anniversary musical is done?
As the musical is about the development of our school from its early days, a lot of historical facts and stories are needed to piece together to form the script of the musical.
Since last October, there have been a team of teachers and students who are sourcing for information and facts about the history of Nanyang. They got their information from old Nanyang newsletters, school history books, and our alumni.
Yes, it was a privilege when we managed to interview Dr Lau Wai Har, an old Nanyanger who's currently 86 years old. She's an alumni that the school is immensely proud of, having served as the director of what is known as the National Institute of Education today.
The interview was carried out in a very informal manner. As Dr. Lau's health isn't very good due to her old age, we just sat around her while she told us her stories and experiences. Nonetheless, she was very lively in her speaking and captivated us for the 3 hours we were there for.
Some bits of information we are sure most of you never knew before. Did you know that our ex-principal, Madam Liu Inxian, used to walk into every CME class to teach the students about the values and morals she hoped they would uphold?
I bet you also didn't know about the situation and stories of the school during World War II, which Dr. Lau recounted vividly to us. During the war, while everyone else was studying Japanese, Dr. Lau and her sister studied English in secret from an ex-Nanyang teacher. This helped Dr. Lau and her sister to build a foundation in English, enabling them to further their studies overseas subsequently.
Those 3 years when Mrs. Liang gave me free tuition, not only that, she built a foundation for me to have good English. That's why after the war, my sister and I can join the school cert, the final year in an English school.
Also, after the war, Dr. Lau, along with 3 to 4 other ex-schoolmates, formed the alumni and helped to restore the school. For this, the school badly needed funds. Though they lacked proper support, Dr. Lau and the other alumni members went around fearlessly to places where the rich Chinese businessmen would gather to ask for donations, and they played a crucial role in rebuilding our school.
After the war, Dr. Lau pursued her studies in England's Leeds University. However, she contracted tuberculosis, lost her ability to move, and had to stay in hospital for 3 years. Throughout this time, she received immense help and pulled through, only with a strong will and perseverance.
I studied because I had to lie down like this. I have it in the book.
Yeah.
The Plaza and I. So I had to. First year I had to lie down in a plaster bed, and for nearly 2 years.
To pass on her inspiring story, she has even written a book, Plaster and I, which is dedicated to all of us, her juniors.
On the whole, we were able to learn much more about the history of our school through our valuable alumni. Though some of the stories Dr. Lau shared with us wasn't entirely relevant to the musical, it was still very heartening to listen to an old Nanyang girl share about the stories of our school, and as juniors, we could hear the deep love she had for the school. We sincerely hope that the legacy of her knowledge can be continued through the musical, where the stories we've heard can be played out and properly captured. We'll leave it to the actual musical for you to find out more.
Do you know the female recording artist who won 2 Emmy Awards, 6 Grammy Awards, 30 Billboard Music Awards, and 22 American Music Awards?
Are you talking about the star of the 1992 feature film, The Bodyguard?
Oh yes. Here's a tribute to the one and only Whitney Houston, who passed away on the 11th of February.
I hope life treats you kind, and I hope you have all you dreamed of, and I wish to you joy and happiness, but above all this I wish to you love. And I will always love you, and I will always love you.
最近会有27只海豚即将来到圣淘沙名胜世界。
Mion has interviewed the director of the non-profit organisation ACRES, which has been consistently trying to free the dolphins since 6 years ago. Now let's go to Mion for the interview.
Recently, 27 dolphins have been removed from their natural habitat in Langkawi, transported to the Philippines as a transit point, and the final destination being the Resorts World Sentosa, Singapore. On the pretext of public education, these dolphins have been cruelly abducted away from their homes, leaving the dolphins with much grief and sorrow. The shock derived from the sudden change in the surroundings has proved too much for 2 of these dolphins, who have died unjustified during transportation. Bottlenose dolphins should not be bottled up. This is the message that ACRES delivered in the recent campaign to save these dolphins. Imagine their life in captivity, enclosed within a sea pen. Their movements are restricted, their freedom stripped, all for the sake of public entertainment. What are your sentiments for these dolphins being imported into Singapore?
I think this is one of the biggest injustices that we've seen. For such a big corporation to buy these dolphins from the wild, where I think if you look at dolphins as a species, they're one of the most highly intelligent animals. But we usually just use the same old quote, which is do unto others what you like others to do unto you. None of us would like to be kidnapped from our homes. None of us would like to spend the rest of our life in captivity to entertain visitors. And it's the same with these dolphins.
So what have ACRES been doing to help these dolphins?
We've been actually in discussions with Resorts World since 2006. So almost for 6 years now, we've been discussing with them, sharing with them our concerns and hoping that they respond positively to it. But obviously with the positive discussions didn't get us anywhere. During that time, they went ahead to buy the wild-caught dolphins. During that time, the dolphins died, 2 of the dolphins died as well. And so which is why as of May of last year, we launched a public campaign to get people aware of this issue, get them aware of the plight of these dolphins, and then hopefully they'll speak up about it. And I think we've been successful so far with over 20,000 people have liked our Facebook page, 680,000 have signed the petition. So if you look at the history of Singapore, this is probably the largest petition signatures ever collected. And I think that's the most critical part now. If you look at it, Resorts World ultimately is a business. It's a business that requires consumer support. And businesses will change their decisions if consumers have to speak up and show that this is something that they don't want in Singapore. But if I could just clarify a bit further, is that we're not against Resorts World. We're not against the marine life park at all. And we're not against keeping certain species of animals in captivity. All we're asking here is for Resorts World to have a marine life park, but have one that focuses on keeping animals that can cope in captivity and that are acquired ethically as well.
We the humans need to rethink of our relationship to the wildlife in this 21st century. So much damage has been done to the environment and the natural habitat since the Industrial Revolution. We have to understand that we are not alone in this world, and we need to find our way to coexist with them, but not to dominate them.
Thank you, Mion, for the special interview.
这是 NY5 的作品，我是新月。
I'm Alicia.
Before we end, we would like to congratulate all prize winners attending next Friday's annual prize giving ceremony.